DJ Ben B. I was taking a nature walk a couple months ago and I decided to give this song, Bellacor's Vessels album, another shot, as it was one of my least favorite by them. I was quite surprised that I didn't like this song before, or maybe I just gave up partway through the album. This will be Vin and Sori's second song by them. It's time to sit back, close your eyes, and take it in.
I'm feeling that already. Max out. Max volume. Ooh! happening?
Twilight Zone.
All right, dear listener. That went slow. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me, Internet. Come on, you dumb butt. Okay, go ahead.
It's so interesting because I feel like I usually vibe with the picks that he brings, but this one I didn't really. You seem to. I don't know. People are reacting to it.
I enjoyed this song more than I enjoyed any song. The Mother song was Song of the Year for me, but I did not enjoy it in the way that I enjoyed this song. Like, I genuinely enjoyed this song. Especially, you guys know that middle part where he just palm muting that progression, and then the lead guy was just going crazy. But I don't know if that little segment, do you know, controller, if that was a bass palm muting technique, or was that just a rhythm guitarist doing that? But yeah, that was my favorite part of the song. This song was like, if you're a guitarist, this would be the song of the night for you as a guitarist.
Okay.
Although, that first song with the progressive band, I was like, well, they're progressive or whatever. Like, I don't know. That song too. But I feel like this song I enjoyed the most. And I know I enjoyed it the most because it's very late and it's like a marathon stream. But I got that shot of adrenaline, and I get this nervous feeling like when a band is like going like really high, like with the musicianship, and it's just heavy.
Yeah. I
get like a kind of like a fluttery butterfly type feeling.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like when people go, 1 minute! That type of feeling.
Okay.
So, like, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, I got that feeling at like 2:42 a.m. We've been at this shit for 4.5 hours. So I know I thoroughly enjoyed this. Like, as a musician, as somebody who plays guitar, like, what this guy did with his instrument is freaking incredible. Absolutely. Yeah, Alchemist was that song. Yeah. That Alchemist song. Like, I would compare it to that Alchemist song, which to me was like genius level. Oh, the transitions on the Alchemist song where I've never seen before. Like, how many different... Remember the one that went to Egypt and then...
Oh, no, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah,
like, that was incredible.
Yeah.
And we got one more song left, but this is the song I enjoyed the most.
I think what threw me off was he said he had it in the woods. And this is not a song I would play in the woods.
Well, I mean, the whole subject matter was about the
woods.
I
couldn't see the lyrics. They're
what?
The computers turned that way. You know what I mean? I couldn't really see the lyrics. And the other thing, too...
to the guy who set up the studio.
The other thing... Well, yeah, I mean... Anyway, the other thing is...
It's also Grizzle Bearus? Does that mean grizzly bear? Is that... Because, I mean, it talks about a mass of fur and claws. So does the song mean grizzly bear?
Oh, I thought that was the nickname he was going by.
Oh. I don't... Well,
and
what's
the other thing,
what's
too,
the title
was
of the
that,
song?
Ben, you were like, sit back and close your eyes. So I was like, okay.
The title of the song... Oh, Whelm is the title of the song. I got you. So grizzly bear is him. Go ahead.
Like, you were like, don't, sit back and, like, close your eyes and stuff like that. So I was like, well, let me not just, like, focus on the lyrics the entire time. Let me just kind of sit back in it. But it just, I don't know. I could see you were vibing with it, and other people were vibing with it. I felt like I kept trying to vibe with it.
I think you had an expectation of like another melodic black metal type thing where you got the tremolo and you're talking about nature and all that. But this is a death metal band.
But the other thing that's interesting is that Ben said when he first listened to it, he was like, nah. And then the second time he did like it. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe
that is true.
Maybe I listened to it again and I'm walking through the woods. Who knows?
But I think your expectation is different. If you're like, this is gonna be closer to In Flames than Magua. Maybe that gives you a little idea. That means that Mom is saying lay down. That's what that means, little bro.
Obviously.
So, like, yeah, this song to me, like, I understood the setting. I'm not the walk in the woods person. You know what I'm saying? So that's not important to me.
Yeah.
So.
But every time you walk in the woods, you enjoy it.
No. When I walk in the woods with you, I enjoy it.
Oh, well. Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, if you're out there, for sure, I'm going to enjoy that shit. But yeah, like, I love I just love the guitar, man. The guitar is like, It's such a crazy instrument. It's so versatile, and it's you have this like love-hate relationship with the instrument, because like it does so much for you when you're playing, but you know that there's so much more it can do, and it's your limitation, and you're like having this argument with this instrument. Like that's why, like, especially this one, like it's crazy to me. Like I don't know why it's affected me this way, but I have a real kinship with this guitar.
Well, it's interesting because Becky and John are
Becky,
the ones that sent it to you.
Yeah, it was like, you know, you have concentric circles of people that like, you know, but this guitar, I don't know. It's probably because like it's the most serious. Well, no, I had it right before we had Dorian. I was pretty serious about guitar. I was playing that shit like 8 hours a day, but. I don't know. This guitar is just different.
I will say that the way that you played before was, you know, you were good. You were better than most people that I had seen play electric guitar, and plus I was surprised to see you play it because I didn't know that you could. But this guitar during this period, you've like, you know, like when there's like consistent growth, and then all of a sudden there's like, and then there's a lot.
Cambrian explosion.
You had that with this guitar from my vantage point.
I agree.
And the music, I think, took you a lot of different places that, you know, before you may not have been as skilled to be able to do. And I do think that Neil fella helped you.
Benji from Neil, yeah, for sure. I told homie, I'm like, yo, like, you're like the most, like right now, you're the most influential person to me. You know what I'm saying? So, and he's a weird dude. He's like, keep playing. Shout out to the homie. Okay, so guitar wise, this was incredible. This is absolutely incredible song. It's interesting because I got so distracted by the guitar. Like I usually don't look at lyrics. Like I'm more, you know, I'm more lyrical obviously than I am instrumental. But this one was just crazy.
Oh, it's written well too.
A rushing mass of fur and claws. The host would move as.
Oh, you're not reading at the top.
Oh, no, go ahead. Go for the top. Go ahead.
As the hunters surged within, the roof began to fall, fractured chidden. What is that? Underfoot. Whilst ichor soaked the halls. Then gathering the pack reformed, for once they'd all consumed, they flooded from the earth in which the hive was now a tomb. Ooh. A rushing mass of fur and claws, the host would move as one, provided each would keep a pace. These creatures feared none. Each component of the whole, a spoke for now that linked. Okay, wait a minute. Do you think this is a concept album?
I'm not sure yet. I'm just watching.
The hive was now a tomb. It's crazy, right?
That's a crazy line.
Because it's such a visual. Like a hive is so alive and like there's so much movement. It kind of sounds like one of those like the world is ending and they're going off to.
That's a really good point. Like the hive is one of those completely buzzing with life.
Active, yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, I'm assuming there's times when everybody goes to bed in a hive.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, when it's active, that shit is like, yeah, that's crazy. That's a crazy line. Go ahead.
They're also seasonal. If it's cold, they can't move much. They just get still. A rushing mass of fur and claws, the host would move as one. Provided each could keep a pace, those creatures feared none. Each component of the whole, a spoke for now that linked, dispensable. What it should break, the rest will let it sink. When rivers water blocked their path, they lingered over moss, a chain of stones bound shore to bank, and each would have to cross. They navigated snout to tail, the smallest one was knocked. As treacherous waters surged, it shattered on the rocks. Oh. One component of the whole, a spoke that now had snapped, dispensable, it served no use, the others would adapt. One component of the whole, a spoke that now had snapped. That's repeated. Silently it understood, and broken beyond mend, it watched the other hunters leave, then waited for the end.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily about a bear hunt that went bad. I just think it's about a pack of wolves. And at the end, one of them got super injured, and they had to move on without the homie. Mm. You know what I'm saying? You just got to cut your losses.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were spoke in a wheel, right? And like the strength of the wolf is in the pack, and the strength of the pack is the wolf, right? And
so funny.
It's
I thought it was about a bear pack, but bears don't go in packs.
Yeah, I think it's a wolf pack.
Yeah.
I think like, yeah, I think that's what happened because like they operate like spokes in a wheel.
Yeah.
Right, and they operate kind of like as a machine, but when one of them's broken, you got to one component of the whole, a spoke that now had snapped.
Yeah.
Dispensable, it served no use. The others would adapt. Mm-hmm. And silently and understood, broken beyond men, it watched the other hunters leave, then waited for its end. So it's like,
yeah, maybe
it's like we anthropomorphize everything and put human emotions like in everything. And like I said, now, like if you asked me 3 years ago, I'd have been like, that's an instinct. You know, the animal doesn't feel anything like emotionally like we would feel.
Oh yeah, I don't think so.
Probably not 3 years. Now, it's very hard to interface with all these people and their various beliefs. Mm-hmm. Like I think it's very difficult to be around a person like Kai, who's such a genuine person, mm-hmm. and not be influenced by them.
Sure. Yeah.
To a degree, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not if you take them seriously. I don't know what the implications of that is, but I'm really blown away by how much the people in our community have been so influential to my inner life.
Yeah.
As far as like how I see the world, and you know, I don't know how this sounds to people, but like, I'm so grateful that I ran into these pagans.
Yeah.
I just feel like there's another set of colors in the you know, like when you go to school and you got like the 8-piece crayon box. That's your first box. And then some kid would have the fucking
32,
like a stadium
64 with the sharpener in the back. What?
That's how I feel. Like since starting the channel, I feel I went from the crayons and look.
Oh yeah.
Truth is truth. It's whatever corresponds to ultimate reality is the truth.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't mean if I say, man, pagans really have a good point here, or the pagans are really connected to creation here and whatever. Like, if we had some serious pagans, like at upper echelons of science as well as legislation, I don't think we would be in the planet crisis we're in. Mm-hmm. And whether or not it's a crisis or whatever, we're on like day 32 of like triple digit weather. Like, something is happening. We're obviously not stewarding the planet the best way possible.
Right.
But like this thing where it's like you're listening to these I'm just reading something. Like where you're telling the story of this pack animal.
Yeah.
And just the ruthlessness of nature in a fallen world, you know, like nature is red in teeth and claw, you know, and like how brutal that is, you know, like, and then I think to myself, like, this is one of the things that clearly demonstrates the image of God, because we did not create mass graves, we created hospitals. Right? Like these animals, like, oh, the leg is snapped. Like think about like a situation like Black Hawk Down. Like, oh, we're going after Muhammad Faradid. Mm-hmm. And then kid falls out of the chopper. And then that kind of reorients the situation because we got to medevac this dude out, right? And then that changes the entire, you know, trajectory of everything, and that results in Durant and those boys getting shot down, which results in Shook Hart and Gordon. And like all of this is
the one
like
that fell out of the. Did he survive?
Eversman, yeah, he survived.
God, can you imagine surviving that?
No. Eversman wasn't the guy that I forgot.
Whoever fell out,
I forgot.
And the whole thing changed. Multiple people died at the end of it. I mean, you're gonna feel that.
I mean, it's just war. I mean, that's just.
You're saying that because you're not the guy that slipped out of it. If you were the guy that slipped out of it and people died because you slipped out, you wouldn't be saying that. I just said that really aggressively.
How do you know that?
Because of how you are. Like, you take stuff on yourself. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? Who knows? Your answer makes me think I'm definitely wrong.
But, like, the point is, like, the most logical thing is, like, dude fell out of a helicopter. Like, leave him alone. And just finish.
I hate to sound so cold.
If they would have done that, like, probably 16 dudes would be alive today.
That's what I'm saying.
But I love that shit.
That they went back to that.
And then you think about Saving Private Ryan. It's like, this woman had 3 sons, 2 of them died. And so, now,
well,
it's not necessarily, like, literally a true story, but it's like, we're going to go and you sacrifice this entire unit so that this guy could get back to his mom.
Yeah.
Like, that is, I don't see the Darwinistic win there.
Right. Well, that's what I was going to say.
See what I'm saying?
Like, it's very, like, logical for the mission sense to just leave that guy there, but going in for that guy, I think, that's the Christian worldview, because he has such value that everybody's going to risk their lives. Even the mission itself is at risk because they're going back to save that guy. That's very Christian.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I always say, like, what worldview creates handicapped parking spots?
Mm-hmm.
But aside from, like, the whole worldview war, it's just like there's something different about humans. Mm-hmm. There's something different.
But do you think
there's something irrational? Like, this is a thing. Like, we normally like to think that, like, Homo sapiens are operating on logic, and the animals are, like, beneath us psychologically because, I mean, they're animals. They're not like us. They're not as advanced as us, whatever. It's like, but wait a second. Like, the wolf pack is operating with a lot more logic than the Ranger Battalion was. Think about that. Yeah. What's more logical to keep the most people possible alive would be to act like the wolf pack. And it's not even if you're dead, we're going to leave you behind. Mm-hmm. It's if you have a broken leg, we're going to leave you behind. Mm-hmm. Like, they're being a lot more logical and operating in such a way as to keep the most people alive.
Right.
But we're willing to send an entire unit of people to save one guy, and we're going to call that beautiful. Well, it's the most irrational thing to do. You're going to sacrifice all these lives, and what about these people's mothers?
Right. Exactly.
The problem is, that woman had 3 sons, she already lost 2, and all of us are saying,
that's too much.
I'm willing to fucking lay down my life so that you don't lose your 3rd son. Mm. And you're right, that's where the Christian worldview comes in, for sure. But like, it's very ironic to me, like, in this situation, the wolves did the most cold, calculating, logical thing that has kept them alive for millennia. And here we are, apex predators, the pinnacle of whatever, and we do the most irrational things when our folks are in danger. Mm-hmm. It's unbelievable to me. And on top of us doing it, we romanticize it. Mm-hmm. And if we would treat a human being the way that a wolf would treat another wolf, we would judge it. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? It's incredible.
I kind of wondered if this, of course, I mean, you'd have to hear the whole album, but I wondered if this song at all was the artist explaining how they feel, but using the metaphor of the pack. This is
incredible. Look at this. Hare hunters were not allowed to kill a bear when he or she was hibernating. Hunters had to wake he or she up before they killed it. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That is incredible. But again, like, this is why have such a rule? Like, that's all metaphysics. Where's the logic in that? Of course you're going to kill the bear when it's most vulnerable. Why would you wait to give it a fair fight or a fair shot? Like, but again, this is human beings. Like, there's something different. There's something different about us. I'm not denying that we're animals. I'm just denying that we're only animals. Mm-hmm. Like, there is something vastly different about the human being, and it's glorious. But this song was incredible. Lyrically, like, the way this guy told a story, this guy can write his ass off. Like, this guy is incredible. And just sonically, though, I just enjoyed this. It's just very challenging challenging song as a guitarist. A very, very challenging song.
Okay.
Very challenging. I was challenged by the Alchemist band because, like, not necessarily with the complexity, but the smoothness of the transitions. Like, they were like Tool level smooth with the transitions, where Tool just creeps up on you and you don't know it.
Yeah.
The Alchemist band wasn't a creep up like, oh my god. It was just like, time doesn't exist, matter doesn't exist. I'm just going to take you to Egypt, and then I'm going to take you to, 3055. Like, that's where I was when they, like, that was just so impressive to me. But, like, as a guitarist, like, dexterity, just down, even dexterity and decisions that you make and how to develop your phrasing, like, this band is extremely challenging to me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, and I really appreciate it. 9.7 for me. 9.7.
8.3 for me.
8.3? You're not a guitarist. Stay tuned, dear listener. We have one more song. It's by the band named Solosis. Ben Bear, freaking really, really good selection, man. I will say, there was a part where they kind of did an open chord type of situation, and it was definitely like a signature Opeth type thing. Like, Opeth they made chord decisions that were just so overlooked that when anybody else does it, it's like, that's Opeth. Like, I can show you, like, the Opeth chord progression, then I can show you the Album of Scars and how many times they've used it. Like, immediately, I'm always like, those freaking guys in Opeth. Like, they're extremely influential. I don't like them, but they're an extremely influential band for bands that I do like. So, I don't know. Really good song, guys.
Well, there you have it. We'll be right back.
We got one more song. Ben says, prepare your necks for the next song. That's a pretty good line, too. Your necks for the next. That's interesting. Commercial break. We'll be right back.